Hi there and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be answering a question from one of our students, which is, what should I do if I get a question which I just can't answer because it's too difficult? Now here we're talking about part 1 questions, so really none of the questions should be too difficult because they're all pretty easy in terms of the vocabulary that the examiner will use. So to answer this question, it depends why you find the question too difficult. If you find the question hard because you don't understand a certain word, then you can ask the examiner, what does that word mean? So, for example, if the examiner asks you a question about jewelry and says, what kind of jewelry do you like to buy? And you don't happen to know what jewelry is, then you can say, what does the word jewelry mean? Or what's jewelry? And he will give you a definition of that. He will say, jewelry is like rings and necklaces and earrings and stuff like that. And then you might understand it. So if that's the reason why you are failing to understand the question is too difficult, then you can overcome it in that way. If you're simply not catching what the examiner is saying, maybe he's speaking too quickly or you just weren't paying enough attention, then you can ask him to repeat the question more slowly, and that will help you to hopefully catch it. If, however, you just really don't have the knowledge to answer the question, like, for example, there was a question in the exam a few years ago about trees, and we actually have a video on our channel about trees and vocabulary associated with that might be helpful to candidates in this context, and you can take a look at that. We will link it above for you. However, talking about trees, the question in the exam was, are there any trees in your culture which have a special meaning? Now, there are, of course, a variety of good answers to this. Like, for example, someone might say something like, to be honest, in Chinese culture, the pine tree has a special meaning because it's evergreen and therefore it's a symbol of long life or longevity or something like that. That's a good answer. However, there were quite a lot of people who just don't know. They really, it's not an English problem. They just have no idea about trees. Or there was another similar question about birds. Do birds have any special meaning in your country? And, people just don't know. So if you don't know, and that's the reason why you can't answer the question, then you can give a response something like this. To tell the truth, I just don't know. I have absolutely no idea what kind of trees have some symbolic value or mean something in my culture. I know the names of some trees like A, B, and C. However, I really don't know what they mean. I'm sorry, but I just feel I really can't give a decent answer to this question. If you answered in this way, most examiners would accept it completely and wholeheartedly, and they wouldn't think, oh God, this person is like a 4 or something. Absolutely not. Because they acknowledge that not everybody knows everything. And IELTS is a test of language, it's not a test of your knowledge. So if you just genuinely don't know something, you can just say you don't know. I lack the knowledge. I know what you're talking about. I know what the question means, but I just am not able to respond to it because I don't have the knowledge. And that would be fine. And you don't need to worry about it. You can just move on to the next question and everything's going to be okay. Alright, well, I hope people found this video helpful. I will see you soon in the next one.